Let me ask you a question, and don't lie to yourself. Are you sitting there, checking your phone every 5 minutes, hoping she texts you back? Are you stalking her Instagram stories, trying to decode if that song she posted was about you? Are you that guy? The guy who once had his balls, but somewhere between her smile and her silence, you gave them up? Wake up, man. Because if that's you, if you're acting like some spineless boy begging for crumbs of attention, then she's not missing you. She's laughing. She's out there living her best life while you rot in the prison you built for yourself, constructed out of desperation, insecurity, and a total lack of masculine dignity. You want her to miss you? Then stop acting like she's the prize. You're the goddamn prize. But here's the truth. She won't realize that until you start acting like it. That's why I'm about to break down 9 real things you need to do to flip the script. To make her miss you like air in a burning room. And if you do them right, not only will she miss you, she'll crave you. She'll lie awake at night wondering what the hell happened to the man who used to orbit around her like a lost planet, because now he's become the damn sun. Let's go. 1. Disappear with purpose. Listen carefully. This isn't about playing games. This is about reclaiming your power. When a woman knows she's the center of your world, she stops valuing you. Not because she's evil, but because women are biologically wired to crave challenge, to respect strength, and to be drawn to what they can't easily possess. So when you're always there, always available, always responding instantly, what are you? Predictable? Safe? Boring? The emotional equivalent of white bread. You want her to miss you? Then disappear. Not in anger, not in bitterness, but with purpose. Go build your body. Build your business. Build your mind. Go level up. Let her wonder where the hell you went. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That means stop texting her about your worth and start showing it through your absence. And let me be crystal clear. This isn't about playing hard to get. This is about being hard to forget. You make yourself unforgettable by living a life so powerful, so full of momentum, that your silence echoes louder than other men's words. When you disappear with purpose, she'll feel that void. Trust me. Because women don't miss the guy who begged. They miss the man who transformed. But most men don't have the discipline for this. They go no contact and then break down after 3 days like a drug addict going through withdrawal. You have to cut the emotional leash. Cold turkey. When she realizes you've disappeared not to make her chase, but to become unchaseable, that's when the game changes. 2. Stop seeking validation. Become the standard. Let me break this down in a way you'll never forget. The moment you start seeking her validation, whether it's through compliments, attention, likes, or just hoping she notices your new haircut, you become her emotional servant. You hand her the throne and bow before it. And guess what? Queens don't fall for servants. They fall for kings. Validation seeking is the death of masculinity. You were not born to be emotionally dependent on anyone, let alone someone who hasn't earned your vulnerability. The modern simp culture has brainwashed you to think vulnerability is sexy. Let me tell you what's sexy to a woman: power, direction, and self-respect. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." You want emotional freedom? Then stop being a slave to her opinion. Let's get real. A woman doesn't want to be your therapist. She doesn't want to be your mommy. And she damn sure doesn't want to carry the weight of your self-worth on her shoulders. You were supposed to be the man she leaned on, not the boy she's dragging uphill. You think James Bond is texting, "Did I upset you?" You think Maximus from Gladiator's waiting 3 hours to see if she hearts his story? Hell no. Those men walk into a room and the room adjusts to them. Why? Because they know who they are. They don't need applause to act like kings. They act like kings because that's who they are. Full stop. You want her to miss you? Then become the man who doesn't chase her approval because he's too focused on mastering his mission. Women don't miss guys who orbit them like lost moons. They miss the man who becomes a world of his own. The problem is, Modern men are addicted to her attention like it's heroin. But let me give you a harsh truth. Attention is the cheapest form of affection. You want something real? Then give her nothing until you become everything. You stop seeking validation the moment you realize your time, your energy, your presence, it's all worth more than her approval. When you carry yourself like you don't need anything from her, that's when she'll start needing everything from you. And don't fake this. Don't act like you don't care when deep down you're dying inside. No, that's weakness wearing a mask. Fix the inside. Build the confidence. Do the work. That way, when you pull back, it's not a tactic. It's your truth. She can feel the difference. Every woman can. That's the foundation. Without this, nothing else works. Because if she's your source of meaning, then you're her pawn, not her man. 3. Master emotional self-control. Let me tell you something that every powerful man in history understood, and every weak man today has forgotten. Your emotions are a weapon, not a leash. But most of you, you've handed your emotions to her like a loaded gun and dared her to shoot. You rage when she doesn't reply. You panic when she pulls away. You spiral when she says, "I just need space." You let your entire inner world get dictated by her mood swings. And guess what? That's not strength. That's slavery. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You think you're free because you can drink, party, text who you want? Number. You're a puppet on strings. Because the moment she pulls your emotional chain, you dance. Control is power. When you can feel everything, but act on nothing out of desperation, you become unstoppable. I'm not saying to be a cold robot. I'm saying be the man who doesn't flinch when the storm hits. You think of Maximus from Gladiator. His wife and son were slaughtered. His emperor betrayed him. His whole world burned. And yet, he didn't crumble. He sharpened his sword, bided his time, and came back with vengeance. Calm, precise, unshaken. That's masculinity. That's discipline. You want her to miss you? Then don't be the guy who reacts to every emotion, like a dog to a whistle. Be the mountain. Let her be the wind, loud, emotional, all over the place, and you stay grounded, unmoved. Men like that are rare, and rarity breeds desire. She will test you. Trust that. She'll push your buttons just to see what happens. And every time you overreact, cry, lash out, or beg, you prove you're not ready for the throne. So how do you master emotional control? You practice it daily, in the gym, at work, when someone cuts you off in traffic, when your plans fall apart. You build a fortress in your mind so that no woman, no rejection, no betrayal can shake you. Once you do that, you become the man she remembers. Not because you begged, but because you became the one thing she can't find in every other guy: emotional dominance. 4. Build mystery, never be fully known. You want her to miss you? Then stop giving her all of you up front. Stop oversharing. Stop pouring your soul out like a damn open bar. You go on a first date, and suddenly you're telling her your life story, your childhood trauma, your favorite movies, your 5-year plan, your dead goldfish. Slow down, Shakespeare. You think you're bonding, but what you're really doing is killing mystery. And mystery is the root of longing. Let me hit you with this. People don't miss what they fully understand. They miss what they can't quite figure out. They miss the questions, not the answers. Remember Fight Club? Remember Tyler Durden? The man was chaos wrapped in confidence. Nobody knew what the hell he was going to do next. He lived by his own rules. He didn't care who approved. He had that wild unpredictability that makes people obsessed. Why? Because he couldn't be boxed in. He wasn't a puzzle you could solve. He was a riddle that haunted your brain. That's what mystery does. It lingers. You need to be that. Stop telling her everything. Let your actions speak. Drop hints. Make her curious. Make her wonder why you didn't text. Make her wonder why you were quiet in the middle of a conversation. Make her wonder where you disappeared to on a Saturday night. Leave breadcrumbs, not blueprints. And let me be clear, this isn't manipulation. This is about not cheapening yourself by becoming emotionally transparent too early. Because when she feels like she already knows you inside out, there's nothing left to chase. Nothing left to miss. Be the man with layers. Be the man who speaks less. But when he does, it hits like truth carved in stone. Be the man who smiles like he knows something she doesn't, and never fully explains. That's the kind of man who sticks in her mind long after the date is over. 5. Lead your own life. Don't orbit hers. Let's get brutal for a second. Most guys today are so desperate for connection, they abandon their entire life the moment a woman gives them attention. They drop their friends, stop hitting the gym, put their goals on pause, all so they can be around her 24/7. Congratulations, you've just made her your new god, and now your universe revolves around her. But here's the twist. No woman wants that. She may say she wants attention, time, romance. But if she becomes your whole world, she'll suffocate. She won't say it directly. But her attraction? Gone. Why? Because you stopped leading. And when a man stops leading, a woman stops following. You want her to miss you? Then you better have a life so full of purpose, she has to fight for a place in it. You need to be on a mission, a real one. I'm talking about a career you're building, a body you're sculpting, a dream you're chasing. Something that lights you up and keeps you moving, with or without her. Because when you lead your life, you give her something to chase, something to respect, something to admire. You ever watch The Dark Knight? Bruce Wayne didn't pause being Batman every time a woman cried. He had a mission. He had weight on his shoulders, and women were drawn to that. Not because he was available, but because he wasn't. His time was sacred. His purpose came first. Your problem is you keep putting women on a pedestal. Stop doing that. Put your mission on the pedestal. Build a kingdom so massive, she's begging for a spot inside it. And if she walks away, you keep building anyway. That's the mindset of a king. 6. Make silence louder than words. Let me hit you with something heavy. Silence is the most powerful sound you can make. But what do most men do when a woman pulls away? They start chasing, texting paragraphs, explaining themselves, over-communicating. They use words like bullets, hoping one of them hits. But the truth is, silence hits harder. Because silence triggers curiosity. It makes her ask questions. It makes her spiral. Why hasn't he reached out? Did I mess up? Did he move on? It's that psychological warfare that works. Not because it's manipulation, but because it forces her to face the void your presence used to fill. Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Well, sometimes to say nothing is too. And it takes courage. It takes strength. It's not easy to pull back when your instincts scream to explain, defend, apologize. But the man who can sit in silence, who can endure the unknown without cracking, that man is rare. That man is powerful. You don't need to announce your worth. You don't need to argue your value. Let her feel it through absence. Remember this: the man who stays silent when expected to speak controls the frame. Always. You want to flip the emotional power dynamic? Say nothing. Let your lack of contact say everything. Let her miss you, not because you begged, but because you left space where your energy used to be. Space that no other man can fill. That's where longing is born. Take a breath. That was 4 more points, raw and unfiltered. You still want more? Then brace yourself. The last 3 points are where it all comes together, where you stop playing games and start mastering your power. Let's finish this. You've made it this far. And that tells me one thing. You're not like the average man. You're not here to beg, cry, or chase. You're here to dominate your life, own your worth, and become the kind of man a woman doesn't just miss, but regrets losing. Now it's time to bring this full circle with the final 3 moves. The ones that separate kings from clowns, warriors from weaklings. These are the finishing blows to the nice guy inside you. Ready? 7. Be brutally unpredictable. Let me say this as clear as thunder in a storm. The predictable man gets ignored. The unpredictable man gets remembered. You want her to miss you badly? You want her to be obsessed with where you are, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with? Then, stop living like a Netflix series she's already binged. Be the plot twist she never saw coming. Predictability is the death of attraction. You're always available, always saying, "Good morning," always texting at the same time, always doing what she expects. Bro, she's not in love, she's on autopilot. You want to wake her up? Change the rhythm. Women are emotional creatures. Their attraction is driven by stimulation, unpredictability, surprise. You don't need to play games. You need to be a man with depth, range, layers. One day you're taking her on a spontaneous trip. The next day you're grinding in silence, locked in your purpose. One week you're present. The next you vanish, no explanation. Not because you're ghosting, but because your life demands your focus. That's not confusion. That's edge. That's masculine polarity. That's the energy she'll replay in her mind while she stares at her phone, wondering why the hell you haven't texted. Think of Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders. That man is chaos in a 3-piece suit. Calm, composed, but explosive when necessary. Nobody knows what he'll do next, but they all respect him. Women crave him. Not because he simps, but because he walks his own path and dares anyone to keep up. Be that. Don't be the man she can predict like clockwork. Be the man she studies like a mystery. You become unforgettable when you make her feel something different every time. That's what unpredictability does. It carves your presence into her brain. 8. Be willing to lose her. Read that again. Be willing to lose her. Because if you're not, if your entire mindset is, "I'll do anything to keep her," then congratulations. You've already lost her. Not because she doesn't love you, but because women are biologically hardwired to test you, to test your strength, to test your frame, to test if you're a man or a mouse. And if you're afraid to walk away, you fail the test. The most attractive trait a man can have isn't money. It's not muscles. It's not status. It's the unshakable belief that he doesn't need her to complete him. You think Marcus Aurelius wept in the streets when someone walked away from him? Number. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Women are an outside event. Your power lies inside. If a woman senses that you need her approval, her love, her loyalty to feel whole, you're finished. She may stay with you out of comfort, but she won't respect you. And if she doesn't respect you, she can't truly love you. The man who can walk away, not out of spite, not as a trick, but because he knows his value, is the man who owns her mind forever. You want her to miss you? Then show her you don't need her. That you'd love to have her in your life, but you're not afraid to let her go if she can't match your energy. And here's the truth. Sometimes you will lose her, and it will hurt. But that pain? That's the purification fire. It burns off the weakness. It forges the new you. Because when you're no longer afraid to lose her, that's when she becomes afraid to lose you. 9. Become a man she can't replace. This is the final move. The death blow. The legacy you leave in her mind. You want to make a woman miss you badly? Then become a man so rare, so disciplined, so dangerous to mediocrity, that once she experiences your presence, every other man feels like a downgrade. This isn't about pretending. This is about transforming. Build your mind so sharp that talking to you is a masterclass in wisdom. Build your body so strong that touching you feels like security. Build your life so rich in purpose that being with you feels like being pulled into destiny. She can't replace that. She might try. She might post the bikini pics. She might flirt, party, date. But deep down, she's comparing. He's not him. He doesn't think like him. He doesn't move like him. And she'll smile on the outside, but inside, she's haunted. Haunted by the memory of a man who didn't need her, didn't beg her, didn't make her his world, but made her want to be part of his. That's the ultimate move. Not becoming the loudest man in the room, not becoming a player, but becoming the most grounded, powerful, self-led version of yourself that no woman ever forgets. Because let's face it, 99% of men out there are soft, emotionally weak, addicted to approval, chasing instead of building. They think attention is love. They think validation is leadership. You walk into that world with discipline, purpose, and presence, you dominate without even trying. So here's your mission now, starting today. 1. Cut the weak behaviors. 2. Withdraw your attention. 3. Lock in on your mission. 4. Speak less. 5. Do more. 6. Be unpredictable. 7. Walk away if you need to. 8. And never ever lower your standards to keep a woman who doesn't rise to meet them. Because she'll miss you. Not when you beg, not when you chase, but when you rise. So that's it. 9 raw, relentless truths. No fluff. No filters. Just the brutal path to becoming the man who doesn't chase women. Because women chase him. You want her to miss you badly? Then stop trying to make her miss you and start becoming a man worth missing. If this lit a fire in your soul, if it shook you out of that weak, nice guy trance you've been stuck in, then I want you to do one thing right now. Subscribe to the channel. Because this isn't a one-time wake-up call. This is war against weakness. This is the place where we rip mediocrity out of your veins and inject power back into your mindset. We're not here to please. We're here to lead. Now go. Earn your silence. Earn your respect. And make her miss a man she'll never find again.